Good morning. I'd like to talk about the Supreme Court in America. I'm a bit bamboozled by what their role and what their mandate is. Surely they are there to just sort out the minutiae of the laws, to 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 work out what particular findings and judgments actually mean, how laws should be interpreted, what precedents are able to be used in the future and what precedents fall by the wayside. Now, one thing that's very worrying is this the separation of powers. The courts are not a voting bloc. They are not a partisan. They should not be a partisan institution at all. They should be. There should be no Democrat justices. There should be no Republican justices. It just does. It defeats the whole purpose of having a independent arbiter of disputes. So when you get to the stage where it's really important for a president to install justices into the Supreme Court, that's a broken system. That's a broken system. That's, to an outsider looking in, it sort of defeats the purpose of having the Supreme Court. Because if it's not the arbiter, an independent arbiter of disputes, well, what is it? Is it just another partisan organization in America? Just another for sale, another institution for sale? Like, why is it so important to get justices of your side, your Democrat, Republican, whatever, your side? Why is it so important to get your choices in if they are an independent and unbiased adjudicator? Well, they're obviously not. They're obviously not. They're obviously biased. So any rulings that they make are tainted. They're not an independent arbiter by the very fact that politicians or political parties go way out of their way to get all these judges in so they can rule on their side later on. That doesn't seem like law. That seems like a favour for a favour. That seems like like how they do things in 1500 Florence or Milan or something like that, when you got Machiavelli and he stacks his all the people, all his mates in the decision makers of the town are all his, all on his payroll. Well, the Supreme Court, for all its importance, is losing its relevance. No, well, it's not losing its relevance. If only it was that. It's losing its mandate. It's losing its validity because it's a partisan institution by the very fact that the politicians go out of their way so much to get someone put onto the Supreme Court for life. It should not be. It should not be such a big thing. It should not be a thing at all. To put someone on the Supreme Court should not be, oh, we've got to do this before the election. Oh, we've got to get a Republican person on the Supreme. That's that's a kangaroo court. That's not an independent judiciary. That is a judiciary who's biased by the very nature of its inception wise, it's the way it's made. Honestly, the more and more I'm learning about America, the less and less I'm thinking. Well, I don't. I think you've lost democratic state there. It like your voting system's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. The ranked choice voting that we have here in Australia, where you put your guy 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, and if the guy doesn't win the first one, you go to the second one, you go to the third one, and that way you don't have these. Honestly, the way we do it here it's just better in Australia. Um, because I know the cause behind this, or it's the corporatization of America. It's America Incorporated. I'm sorry, you guys are wonderful people, and there's some wonderful people in America, but your country sucks, mate. The very institutions that you so great, they're not that great anymore. The Supreme Court is not an independent arbiter for anything. It's just another political apparatus of the government to keep the status quo, and the status quo for more and more people is starting to suck. If you are not uh, independently wealthy, you have you have no chance to create like wealth. And people go on about like Bezos and Zuckerberg. That's 10 people out of millions. And this is totally unrelated, but this is the way people they do their gobbledygook and get their way. Okay, uh, the estate tax. It doesn't sound too bad, does it? Estate tax is like when you die, you contribute to the country that gave you all your opportunities and that, so you pay your way back, and that way we just don't have empires of family empires. But what did they do? They called it a death tax. Oh no, the death tax. So no one really knows or cares what an estate is, but everyone knows what death is. No one likes death, and you hear death tax. Oh, don't want that. Estate tax. Well, estate tax will sort of redistribute the wealth a bit. It's a fair tax. It really is. It's one of the fairer taxes going. But when you put death tax, that's gone. Anyway, so back to the Supreme Court. Coney Barrett. There's only really one thing. If you go back to the Dark Ages and make abortion illegal, like there are parts of America where you cannot get an abortion. Um, who the hell are you to tell a woman that she must do what you? This is what I must do. Okay, like um, unless you're going to give that lady $100,000 a year for the next 18 years. You put her in a house. She gets full support for that child. College, school, everything's paid for by the abortion people that say, oh no, we can't have an abortion, you can't have an abortion. So they fucking put your money where the mouth is and pay that person to have the child, to bring up the child. No, you don't do that. Abortion bad, have the baby, and then it's your problem. Go fuck yourself, honestly. Seriously, people. Who are you defending? Like, anyway. So, so Supreme Court sucks. Um, yeah. So, I don't know. This is just a thought that I had, so I'll put it down on the world's worst YouTube channel. Anyway, goodbye.